Morning everyone. This morning I want to talk about when things don't go right, when things actually go wrong, and how I try and work around them and adjust. I've had a classic over the last 4 weeks. I've had fighting with my tech. I'm wearing my glasses today so I can actually see what's going on with my DJI gimbal and phone. Still can't get things right, but hopefully it'll come out okay as a record. Yeah, I've had a number of things that haven't gone right for me over the last 4 weeks, including a couple of health related. First one was really surprised me, and I'm not sure exactly why it happened, but I had to go and fix a pump we have down on our creek. It's about 15-metre vertical drop down to the pump, and we have a wire guide rail that you pull yourself or hold yourself when you go down, so it's steep. I had to go up and down about 5 times in one day before I got the pump to work again. And I was fine doing it physically. I wasn't finding it too difficult or anything. And I thought, it's just like walking up and down the slopes around our place. So all the walks I go through, I thought, would have had me perfect health for it. But I found the next couple of days I was actually sore in both my quads. Not bad, but enough to notice it, enough to have to be careful. And I also was a bit tender in my right bicep, and I couldn't work out why. And I think it was probably just the way I pulled myself up. I had an old injury there which I hurt earlier last year, and it healed well, but it's still still easy to aggravate. So I guess the lesson for me around this is, and it applies to everyone in 70s, unless you've been really active all your life. If you've had pauses like I have where you've been really active and then times where you haven't done much, then you're going to have to be careful. Anything that's slightly different can cause minor, and if you're not careful, major injuries. So one of my key goals in my health program is not to injure myself, because if I injure myself, I have to back things off. There are ways around it. I'll talk about them later on, but the key goal is really stay healthy and stay active. Do both. No point in being healthy if you can't be active, but you can't be healthy if you're not active. So they just go together. So first lesson was, got to be really careful when I'm doing something I haven't done before, I haven't done for a while. As I said, I thought I'd be fine. Second one came out of when we had got a heat wave warning. We were going to have 4 days well over 30s and low 40s. And I wanted to set up a drip feed water system for our orchard. I've been planning on doing it for years, but I was incentivized, and so I started doing it. A lot of work, a lot of fiddly work. And on the 3rd day, I'd got more than half the orchard done, and I was doing one of the rows. I really wanted to get finished that morning. I'd started very early, started before 5:30. And by about 10:30, I was stuffed. It was starting to get really hot, and I thought, I should stop, but I didn't. I wanted to finish. I finished about 11 o'clock, and it was too hot for me. It wasn't, I just didn't cope. I had plenty of hydration. It wasn't lack of water. It was just heat. Fairly physical, because I'm crawling around on my hands and knees trying to lay this hose around all the trees in the orchard in one of our rows. And it wasn't hard work, but it wasn't easy. And the result was, for the next couple of days, I just felt off. Maybe mild heat stroke. It wasn't anything serious, but I didn't feel good. So I had to back off almost completely. So that week and a half, 10 days was a challenge. And I realised I can't just go back and push hard again. I have to build up. So I spent the next 2 weeks slowly getting back to where I was. And now we've hit another heat wave. Nowhere near as bad as the previous one, but enough to make it difficult. This morning walk, as you can see from the fog behind me, not hot at all, but very humid. So it doesn't make it easy. So my lesson for myself, and I reckon it's a lesson that applies to a lot of people, you've got to be very flexible. You don't want to have too firm commitments. If you're going to get affected by the weather, I have quite severe allergies at times down here, and if they're really bad, I just don't sleep well. So then I've really got to back off the next day. I can't do what I intend to do every day. I have to adjust every day for how I'm going. So that's the key message here. Keep going, be persistent, but adjust, adapt, be resilient. And on that message, all the best, take care, and I hope you find this of some use. Like everyone starting on YouTube, it would be great if you could share a link to this video. I'll be releasing short videos explaining more about how I'm attempting to live well